dirt bike, but I don't know, how far is that?
100 miles.
Yeah, no. I'll join for the Charlie piece.
Yeah. We're in and out of it.
That would be my estimate.
There you go.
Nothing yet.
No?
Still got Gmail.
It's still not pulling it up here. Guess we don't have to watch ourselves. I'd like to call to order the Charlie Town Board meeting for September 13th, 2023. Would everyone please rise and join us for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, as we gather for this meeting, we thank you for those who disregard their own personal safety to assist others in need. Whether it's first responders, military personnel, or even ordinary citizens who are willing to risk their lives for others, we are truly blessed to have them in our communities. Thank you for their courage, dedication, and commitment to service. We pray for their protection. Keep them safe from harm and injury. Give them your wisdom and guidance when faced with crucial decisions. May your blessings also be upon their homes and families. Give them peace, comfort, courage, and strength when faced with their sacrifices. And above all, may we never take their service for granted. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory?
Here.
Councilwoman Spare? Here. Councilman Valerio?
Here.
Councilman Slattery?
Here.
Supervisor Dunn?
Here, other officials and advisors present this evening. To my far right, Town Clerk Jenny Ignatowski. Also to my right, Deputy Town Supervisor Councilman Michael Slattery. To my far left, Councilor of the Town Jared Hurt. At the side table, we have Commissioner of Public Works, Superintendent of Highways David Lindsay, Director of Finance Dan Knapp, Insurance Counselor Scott Bonnewell, and from my office, Don Forte. Our stenographer is Sandy Hewitt, and at the event of an emergency, please use the exits to the corners of the room. At this time, anyone with a cell phone, if you'd please either set it to vibrate or shut it off, we'd appreciate it. We don't have any presentations or announcements this evening, but I would like to just say one thing before we get into the agenda. I would like to extend our prayers to the young man and the family of the young man who tragically lost his life on Chili Avenue this afternoon in a tragic, very, very tragic motor vehicle accident. So prayers to the family. So with that, we will move on to public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak, please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. This public hearing is for the rezoning of 4400 Buffalo Road from RM Residential Multifamily District to GB General Business District. I'd also like to note this is a portion of that property. Portion of that property is already zoned general business. This is for just a portion of this property. Anyone want to speak at the public hearing? Dorothy? Public hearing? None? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. We'll move on to the public forum. Again, anyone wishing to speak, please step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you'll be heard. Dorothy?
Dorothy Borges, 31 Stewart Road. I've brought this up several times, and I'm wondering at some point if we can, if we could have the issue of the audio in this room mentioned. Give us an update of where we are with that. With regard to the correspondence from the town clerk on page 2, I would like to know where this Mexican restaurant is going to be. I looked on the computer and it looks like it's over by the Monroe Muffler. And maybe you could just explain that. We are getting to have quite a few places to sell alcoholic beverages in that area. But I'm sure the state will take care of that. With regard to Resolution 218, I see that they're proposing an amendment to the expense budget for $200,000 for the Archer Road Park property. Could we have a number that's already been budgeted? I take it this is additional money, so this would be an add-on, I'm assuming, to an existing capital budget? How much are we spending on that end of the property? On Resolution 224, how much area is involved in this releasing the storm drainage easement?
I'm sorry, Dorothy, I missed that question.
Pardon? I was wondering how much area is involved in releasing this storm drainage easement on Resolution 224. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak at the public forum? Seeing none, I'll close the public forum, and we will move on under, oh, I'm sorry.
Vince Falco, 94 Attridge Road. Just have a concern with what's going to be proposed for the property on Buffalo Road. Same as problems I'm thinking we're going to have with the apartments, corner of Attridge and Buffalo Road, traffic, and no green space, and nothing for the kids to do once that's all developed. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak at the public forum? Seeing none, oh,
Linda Smallfuss, 35 Attridge Road. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. I have concerns. You said this rezoning of 4400 Buffalo Road was only partial. So I'm wondering what will happen to the playground and the sports field, which has been used and served the community for many years. Will that be replaced someplace else? In thinking about the proposed property in Berkeley Place, which is just proposed at this point, there is very little green space there. And children could use this playground, which is at 4400. So if that's removed with very little green space, they'll have to walk across Attridge, which at times is very heavy traffic, also across Union Street in order to get to Hubbard. So a safety and traffic concern there. Also, the traffic, as Vince, we are still concerned with the intersection of Attridge and Buffalo Road. The last study was done in 2020. And if you remember, in 2020, we were in the midst of COVID and a lockdown. So those figures, I don't think, are adequate when people are doing an analysis of the traffic issue at that intersection. Compounds that intersection is traffic from the proposed Berkeley Place, the proposed medical building, Cottage Grove, entrances from this new proposed building at 4400. Whether they close off those onto Buffalo and Attridge, where that intersection is, and go through the existing plaza, there is still the issue of the entrance on Buffalo Road with traffic. If you want to make a right-hand turn, no problem, onto Buffalo. If you want to do a left-hand turn, you're going to have to go through the plaza, the other side, make a right-hand turn onto Union in order to accommodate your destination as to where you want to go. So there is also the restaurant on the opposite side that would be close to this 4400, which has an entrance, also a gas station, which is quick fill, and then, of course, the things that are on the corner. So I'm just wondering, what are your plans in terms of looking at the traffic issue with this rezoning of 4400? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak at the public forum?
David Meyer, 26 Pleasant View Drive. I am also concerned about the traffic. That's my biggest issue that I have with all of this. I was actually walking on Buffalo Road in North Chili, and about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I could not believe the traffic that goes through that place. And I don't know where that, that traffic study that came in 2020, obviously it was during COVID, we know that. And I think that definitely needs to be looked at, specifically if this place is going to be built as well. Because I come out of even Attridge Road and we stand there and wait a long time. We watch the buses sitting and waiting. It's very, very difficult. Traffic is really difficult in that area. And I think that before anything is decided with even this facility too, we need to really look at the traffic study and do a real traffic study on that. And I would suggest that even you guys would go over and just stand there and watch a little bit and watch how much traffic goes through there, because it's definitely a major issue. And as a resident of that area for 35 years, I've never seen it so bad, to be quite honest with you. It's pretty bad there. So that's my concerns.
Thank you.
Rick Legeski, 71 Cassandra Circle. Not sure if this is the proper part of the meeting today, but just would like a little bit more clarification on, I guess, the process or how the process is determined through what officials to do the new tax assessment, the call to do that. I was just curious about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak at the public forum?
Bill Smoffus, 35 Attridge Road. The traffic situation has been addressed tonight, but I'll reiterate it. According to 2020, which was the last traffic survey, Hubbard Springs has brought another at least 90% more parking spots, possible people, not counting the new ones that you're thinking of for Berkeley Place, which is another at least 52 more, which is more than you need for a extended traffic thing. Plus you add in whatever you're putting on the other side of, north side of Buffalo Road, I think you got more than enough to warrant a full traffic study. Not to mention the extra asphalt that will produce more runoff. Of course, water seeks its own level, which goes downhill, which means it's going to end up in my backyard, which I don't care much for. But the other thing that I've really had a hard time figuring the words out for, about 52 years ago, I spent a year in the jungles of South Vietnam, along with thousands of others. We were supposedly fighting for the freedom of the Vietnamese people. The Lord brought me back, safe and sound. Unfortunately, now I feel like I'm fighting the town hall. I don't know, I just can't believe that 3 people can push 400 people aside for their own agenda and with no consequences. To me, that's just unthinkable. If our government is supposed to be for our people and by our people, this is a poor example of it, as far as I'm concerned. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak at the public forum? Seeing none, I'll close the public forum. A couple things that are not in the resolutions. The Mexican restaurant, I believe, is going in the Chalapao Plaza. I believe that's where Osaka used to be. Do you know, David, for sure? Yeah, I think it's where Osaka Sushi used to be, the restaurant, the sushi restaurant that was in there. I believe it's going into there. I could be wrong, but it's along that leaf and beans side of the plaza where that's going in, the best of my knowledge. as it relates to tax assessments, that's not us. We don't assess property. We're not a part of the process. We don't get involved in that. What I would suggest is if you're looking for more information about how your property is assessed, give the assessor's office a call when you get a chance. They're more than happy to talk, or stop in if you'd like. There's no appointments necessary. They'll be more than happy to share with you the process that they go through to assess properties. We have absolutely nothing to do with your property assessments.
So just to clarify, the decision to reassess falls completely on them?
It falls, no, not completely. The state basically tells us where we are in an assessment level. And you may see this, you may have seen this on your, Ginny, help me here, because I think it was on the town and county tax bill. It actually shows you what your state has basically estimated your property to value, and then what you're currently assessed at. So the assessor will then come to the town and say, and we actually pass a resolution to meet what we need to be at as far as like an equalization rate to get to a rate where we need to be. The state says we should be at 100% assessed value. That's across New York State. I believe all properties are supposed to be assessed at 100% of their actual real value. What ends up happening right now, I think we're somewhere around 80, 84% of assessed value. So the state says you got to bring that back up. If we don't do that, which the assessor could very well say we won't do it, then I think we drop down into the 70s somewhere coming up for the next year, which actually means you, everybody here that lives in the town of Chi-Lai, pays a little bit more of a percentage of the school tax than a proper neighboring town or community that shares that district with you, than a property of equal value pays. So there's more of a burden to you on the school tax than there is on other people. So trying to keep these at 100%. The assessor is required to give the state of New York an assessment plan. That plan says that, yes, we intend to be at 100%. And all said and done, we really only have to get to 95%. They give us a 5% window there. So if we get to 95, they say, okay, you're at 100. But you have to try and maintain that 100%. And by with property values the way that they have been so, I'll call it crazy. There's no other way to say it, but they've been crazy. You have no choice. The state's telling you that your town has this amount of value. You have to come up and try and meet that value that the state says you have. Otherwise, we become, as taxpayers, become penalized and pay more in taxes for it. So on the good news, if everything goes well on our preliminary budget, your town tax rate will drop so that any changes in your assessment will not likely change your town taxes. May reduce those a little bit, but it is the school side where we're all punished a little bit. So, does that help?
That's super helpful.
Okay, and please reach out to the assessor's office. Any other questions, they're very good about it.
Awesome.
All right, thank you. All right, moving right along. Under matters of the supervisor, I guess I don't have anything additional at the moment. Matters of the council?
Yes, Supervisor, I just wanted to make one small announcement that every year the Gates Chi-Lai Chamber of Commerce holds a community awards event. This year the chamber will be holding a dinner on October 18th, and there are many awards that are given out, and one of the highlights of that is like both of our towns have beautification awards where the supervisors present them. There's women's leadership, there's junior leadership, there's a Dream Big Award for small businesses that are seeing success in their businesses. And there's also an Outstanding Citizen Award. And this year, the person that was chosen for that award is Michael Slattery. And I know he doesn't like to be making all these announcements, but I really feel that it's important to let everyone know that we show our appreciation for all the efforts he has, for all of since he retired, all the work that he's done for several not-for-profits, and I won't go into all of that, but I just wanted to congratulate Michael on being chosen for this award, and to let people know that we were holding a dinner. It will be at Jack's Place at Chi-Lai Country Club on October 18th. It starts around 5:30. So the entire community is welcome to join us for that dinner, and congratulations, Michael. It's very humble, but...
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it, but it's not about me. It's about the three charities that I did that bike ride, and one of them was for Honor Flight for the brave men and women that served. And I say thank you. And I don't take it lightly, especially when I got to Washington. And I was with the mission that flew in, and the men and women that were there, and the heartfelt conversations that we had. So you can't say thank you enough to them. Thank you.
Anything else? And I have to apologize because I'm going to back up a little bit. I did neglect to address a couple of things. The 4400 Buffalo Road sports field, we have no idea what they're planning for the property on Buffalo Road at this point in time. I mean, the option at this point, and it was brought up about traffic and all that, those are certainly planning board issues. We don't initiate those traffic reviews. Those are typically done as part of the planning process, but we don't really know. I mean, the option is for us is at some point and is to leave it as it is, and they can build more apartments, which is I'm sure you don't want. So the general business designation for that property is probably the best option. So, but anyways.
Before you move on, can I just make one
Sure.
comment on that? But I just wanted to let you know, Bill, that when the parking spaces at Hubbard Park were decided upon and they were put in, at that time I was still on traffic and safety as liaison, and we had a major problem over there with the grandparents and parents all parking alongside the road. So the thought process was if a child runs out between the cars, they could get hit. We also did not have enough space when you parked on both sides of the roads for the ambulance or a fire truck to get down should there be an emergency. So that was, those extra parking spaces were really put in to provide safety to those that use that park and play ball there. So I just wanted to at least add that for your reference, because you brought it up. Okay.
And for traffic and safety, you mentioned, correct?
Yes.
And then you also have liaisons from the Monroe County Sheriff's Department and Monroe County DOT as well.
Yes, we have liaisons at the meetings.
And Child Life Fire
And
Department.
Child Life Fire Department.
So you have liaisons from first responders from organizations that contribute to those discussions as well.
Right, and it was their recommendation that we made to David Lindsay and his department to try to help out with the parking situation over there. And also, no parking signs were put on one side of the road, so that to employ people not to try to park on both sides. And the sheriff's department cooperated with us and will provide tickets if people don't follow those instructions. It was all designed about safety, so I just wanted to mention it.
Thank you. So moving right along, we do have the minutes from the August 16th meeting. There are several reports that were submitted, and as noted earlier under correspondence, Jenny Tausi, town clerks, received notification from Jose Leon Ramirez doing DBA Corona's 3 Mexican restaurant, looking for a liquor license for their 3240 Chili Avenue, Building 11. Other than that, we have no other old business, so new business, Resolution 213, seeker determination for incentive zoning for 50 Air Park Drive.
Move.
Moved by Councilman Slattery, seconded by Councilwoman Spare. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory?
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare?
Aye.
Councilman Valerio?
Aye.
Councilman Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning?
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 214, 50 Air Park Drive incentive zoning. Moved by Councilman DeCory, seconded by Councilman Valerio. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory?
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare?
Aye.
Councilman Valerio?
Aye.
Councilman Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning?
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 215, Board of Assessment Review. Moved by Councilwoman Spare, seconded by Councilman DeCory. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory?
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare?
Aye.
Councilman Valerio?
Aye.
Councilman Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning?
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 216, set public hearing on the 2024 preliminary budget. Moved by Councilman Valerio,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Slattery. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 217, training policy.
Move.
Moved by Councilman DeCory,
Second.
second by Councilman Slattery. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 218, transfer to Archer Road Park Project.
Move.
Moved by Councilwoman Spare,
Second.
second by Councilman Slattery. There was a question from Dorothy about the money on here. Dan, can you help us kind of, we're moving the $200,000 into the project. This was, I know a good portion of this project was all grant funding.
Yeah, so to this point in time, a lot of the money that's been spent, we got a $500,000 grant from the state, which the first part of that was going to the conceptual design portion for Martin Judas, I believe. And then it's just starting the work and trying to decide where we're going to go with this and what parts of that we're going to attack first with that park. There's work that's being done with the cold storage unit over there. We're also potentially getting some fencing, some other stone in preparation of putting a road through there and so forth. So it's just whatever preparatory work. So expect as time goes along and town board decides what other facets that they're going to do in there to start making it an actual park. There'll be more funding as need be.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 219, Child Life Fire Department active list.
Move.
Moved by Councilman Slattery,
Second.
second by Councilman DeCory. Questions or comments?
Yes, Supervisor, just real quick, 9/11, the Charlie Fire Department once again did a fabulous job on their, on the memorial presentation for 9/11. And there's some real good guest speakers, and it was good to see the community come out and support them for for what they do for our community as well. So,
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 220, Child Life Fire Department removed from active list. Moved by Councilman Valerio,
second.
second by Councilman Slattery. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 221, Child Life Fire Department exempt list.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Slattery, seconded by Councilwoman Spare. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 222, 2023 budget amendment.
Move.
Moved by Councilman DeCory, seconded by Councilman Valerio. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 223, purchase of pickup for parks.
Move.
Moved by Councilman Slattery, seconded by Councilwoman Spare. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 224, release portion of stormwater drainage easement.
Move.
Moved by
Second.
Councilman DeCory, seconded by Councilwoman Spare. There was a question on this one. It is exactly 3,176 square feet. If you'd like, I have the map up here, and after the meeting, if you want to see it, you're more than welcome. All right? But that's the area that's being abandoned.
Good answer.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 225, letter of credit release, Balaqua Estates Phase 2 final. Moved by Councilman Valerio,
Second.
second by Councilman Slattery. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunning.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 226, funding for town hall soffit and fascia replacement.
Second.
Moved by Councilman DeCory, second by Councilwoman Spare. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman
Aye.
Slattery. Supervisor Dunn.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 227, letter of credit release, Rose Hill, Phase 1 final.
Move.
Moved by Councilman Slattery, seconded by Councilman Valerio. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunn.
Aye, passes 5-0. Resolution 228, September 6th, 2023, abstract.
Move.
Moved by Councilwoman Spare.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman DeCory. Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Councilman DeCory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Spare.
Aye.
Councilman Valerio.
Aye.
Councilman Slattery.
Aye.
Supervisor Dunn.
Aye, passes 5-0. Next meeting of the Chi-Li Town Board will be October 11th. This meeting is adjourned. Congratulations, Mr. Cook.
Thank you.